Tucker, in terms of taking action a decade ago, John McCain supported the legislation that allowed this deregulation of the financial markets to take place. And now, just this month, in the September-October 2008 issue of Contingencies, that's the magazine of the American Academy of Actuaries, here's what John McCain wrote. Opening up the health insurance market to more vigorous nationwide competition, as we've done over the last decade in banking, would provide more choices of innovative products, less burdened by the worst excesses of state-based regulation. When we saw that develop, Tucker, with the financial markets, with mortgages, when there were more options for people to choose from, look at the chaos that developed. Do you think that that would encourage John McCain to rethink his stance on health care as well, health insurance?
Contessa, there are two things I want to mention. The first thing, when you go back to the Gramm-Leach-Bliley bill, is that Joe Biden voted for that bill. Bill Clinton signed it into law. It passed overwhelming majorities of both houses of Congress. And the author of the bill is Jim Leach, which is one of Barack Obama's biggest supporters. So when he blames us for a crisis based on a single piece of legislation that happened 10 years ago that everyone in his campaign seems to have support or written, I think that it's not a genuine criticism. The second part, Contessa, which is I'm a little bit angered. So I'm going to be very clear about this.
Let me just address what you just first.
Contessa, let me address this point.
Tucker,
I need to respond
to your first answer here. The thing is that when I ask you, John McCain supported that legislation. Do you really think that it's the explanation to come back and say, yeah, but he did too?
No, my response was to the criticism that Barack Obama has been leveling against us, which is the reason that you're asking me the question, Contessa. I think it's something voters should know is that everyone involved in the Democratic ticket, including his top economic advisors, were involved in the creation of that legislation. So let's call what it is here. Now, going back to your second point about the deregulation in the health magazine, it was completely taken out of context. What he was talking about is interstate commerce. If anyone in America believes that it is the fault, the banking crisis is because you can take money out of your ATM anywhere in the country, then I think that demonstrates a misunderstanding of this crisis, which is exactly what Barack Obama has said today. It is unfortunate, and I think it underscores his inability to deal with these types of complicated crises when he pulls a quote so far out of context that was talking about Americans' ability and access to health care, that they should be able to buy health care in another state, and somehow that relates to the crisis. Talk about politicizing an event. That's very unfortunate, I think, and I think it's revealing.
Let me ask